Hello, it's Richard Bowser from Property Investor News magazine, and today I'm in London and I'm with Stuart Scott. And Stuart has just been featured in Property Investor News, and he's also an award-winning developer. And Stuart, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you, Richard.
Stuart, you've just delivered a talk to a room full of around 160 property developers and investors, and you were extending out in that talk. You gave some of the points that you made in the recent interview article that I did with you in Property Investor News. So can you just tell our audience today, summarise what you were saying?
Cool. So the market's changing a lot, and developers, investors are having to adjust to become marketeers and product designers.
Yes.
So what I shared today was a principle called the brand ecosystem. And the brand ecosystem is almost like an evolution of the brand to encompass things like the digital web, marketing, traditional marketing, magazines, awards, your product, creating an amazing product, and your product is your brand. It's all part of it. So what I shared today was the formula that's kind of allowed me to gain the profile and the kind of exposure over the years as a result of taking all of my learnings from the brand world, from the marketing world, and the product design and innovation world. And it shows if you're, especially in a competitive market, if you are utilising all of these areas, you can just supercharge your business, and you create brand advocacy, which of course allows you to raise more investment, it allows you to get higher rents, and it allows you to achieve higher prices and be recommended to friends and colleagues of any of those as well.
And of course, you are living and breathing the experience, because you've not been in property that long, have you?
No, so I mean, our background was about 10 years of kind of renovating and flipping properties. That's kind of getting the kind of the basics, I'd say. Very important basics, mind you, about adding value. And I've been full-time in property for about between 4 to 5 years.
Yeah, that's more of what I was referring to.
So in that time I've achieved a lot in that period, and that's as a result of using this kind of brand ecosystem, this blending of brand, product and marketing.
So 3 key points maybe for people to consider.
Yes.
Who are embryonic developers. What should they be thinking about with obviously 2, 3, 4 year game plan? What would you suggest?
You need to be thinking about brand right at the start.
Yeah.
Because at some point your money's going to run out. And you're going to need credibility and everything else to attract people.
Yes.
So you need to be thinking about brand, even if it feels like it's too early for brand. You need to be thinking about it. That is effectively wrapped into your profile. You then need to think about what you're doing in the marketing space. So, for example, they say you don't need to create web environments, you don't need to create brochures. It's not, well, you don't need to straight away, but you will eventually get there very quickly. And if you're thinking that now, you can get those touch points done. Because in customer experience, it's all about the touch points.
Absolutely.
If you go on a customer journey and you get these touch points right, when you get round to the buying stage, or when someone says, actually, do you know what I do? I really resonate to your mission and your message. I want to invest with you. Well, then they become an advocate, and they don't go back through the decision loop again, which of course is perfect. So you need to be thinking about marketing, even at the embryonic stage. You need to have a big vision for what that's going to be, and then of course finally, I would say, you need to be creating a great product. It's the same for anyone selling on Amazon. If Dyson entered the Hoover market, didn't they? A saturated market. But he created the best Hoover in the world. Yeah. And then of course he became successful. Apple entered the phone market, absolutely saturated with all the flip phones and all the other stuff. But they created a better product, better software, better experience. And so if you focus right from the start of creating a great product, it feeds into everything else.
Well, as I experienced, and I know very well from our interview down in Brighton and Hove a few weeks ago, in the HMO sector, there is so much mediocre stock, and you've taken the concept and you really reinvented it and shaken up that local market down there, and you've identified for people here today why that has been so. So
yeah, and you need to constantly evolve that. So even for myself, and in my previous agency world, you're having to constantly when you deliver a product, let's say it was Facebook, for example. Facebook is delivered, and then after it's delivered, you have to spend a lot of time talking to the customer. You work out what works best and what doesn't work best. You then refine it, and you start to release it again. And you're just doing constant innovation.
Yeah.
But the key part of that, which a lot of property investors and developers forget, is the bit where you listen to the customer.
Indeed.
You
Yes.
know, we're building for the customer at the end of the day, but you know, need to talk to the customer.
Yes.
So if you can understand what the customer wants, and you create a great product, that's where you're going to get the most results.
Stuart Scott, I'm sure people watching this video, reading the latest interview with you in Property Investor News, really appreciate those comments, as have the audience today at the Development Summit. So Stuart, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much, Richard.